Hamma here from the Araxis Global Network and PlanetSide-Universe.com, and we're going to do a patch note review of PlanetSide 2 Game Update 2, which is a pretty massive patch with a lot of different changes. So it's going to take quite a while to go through. I am literally not going to go through every point because there are just way too many changes for us to even think about, you know, doing a very detailed patch note review. So we're going to skip a lot of the fluff and just kind of go over the major points. So one of the things I'm trying to do a little bit differently this time is I'm actually going to record audio while I'm recording the video. And so we'll see how that comes out. I think it might be a little bit easier in the end for me to do because it will allow me to kind of show things in a more precise manner rather than having to do a ton of post-video editing. So there's a guy here, as you can see, trying out the new SMG, it appears. It's got a pretty cool sound. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. First thing we're going to do, though, is kind of talk about the UI changes. That's kind of the easiest thing to jump right into, so let's go ahead and start with that. So you can see some of the changes actually right here. If you take a look on your HUD here, you can see that we have an XP bonus right here, and it gives you a little tooltip and shows you your boost bonus and different things like that, membership bonus and stuff like that. So I've got a 100% XP bonus winning. And right here you have a little progress bar that shows your progress to the next cert point as well. So that's a couple of little UI changes, at least directly on the immediate UI. Some of the other things that have changed, or not necessarily changed, but there's been a new option added for Empire colors. You can see here you can, it actually defaults to this one. I've already come in here and changed it, but this changes some elements of the HUD, and I think that's kind of cool. It's a little bit of a little bit more fluff, but it's nice to have. So that's a pretty cool change. You can see here it actually shows your rank next to your, I don't believe it showed that before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hey, what the hell. All right. As everybody knows, there was a few things changed in terms of the store. SMGs were added, as well as some new camos. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of those things and kind of see what the new SMG is like. And we'll do a little gameplay with it as well, because I actually ended up doing a little bit more post-editing than I was expecting. So as you can see here, let's go ahead to get more, and we will take a look at the new SMG. So I'm playing on TR as I always do, and the new SMG on TR is called the SMG-46 Armistice. That's an interesting name. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that. Looks like I have enough station cash, just barely. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SMG-46. So we did see a little bit of a preview of this on the Friday Night Ops this past Friday. There's a lot more different animations on this weapon as compared to some of the previous weapons. There weren't a whole lot of animations to be had on some of the the previous weapons, as as I'm repeating myself here, but you guys kind of get the point of what I mean, and everybody agrees. And so you can see this weapon, it does have a different model to it, which is kind of a first. A lot of the other weapons before were pretty much, they all look the same, even though they were different things. But this is the SMG, and it does look different. I saw somebody complaining that it doesn't look different, but it does. I mean, you can see that it does look different as compared to some of the other weapons in the game. So it's good to see that they're going to start tweaking that stuff around. And as you can see, there's obviously certs for it. You can do flash suppressor, soft point, and the various optics and rails, just like you can with the other weapons. So go ahead and put this thing on. And as you can see, you've got, on your iron sights there, you've got a little bit of a glow to it, which is kind of cool, and it has a great sound. And you can see the animations on it. You actually have a little bit more and a better reloading animation that's a little bit more detailed. So it's cool to see that stuff starting to come to fruition in the game. And we're going to go out and do a little bit of fighting with it and see what that looks like. So I've got to say, after using the SMG for probably, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I got to say I'm a fan. It's a lot of fun to use. It's actually pretty powerful, probably more powerful than it should be. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it get a little bit of a nerf. But I definitely am a fan. It was a lot of fun to use. It's a different type of weapon. It feels different in the game. A lot of the weapons kind of suffer from feeling very similar to each other, and this one in particular doesn't. So I'm a fan of it. I will say, while I was playing today, I noticed a ton of performance issues, just random slowdowns and skipping. that I've never seen before. And so, as I mentioned in the video already, I mean, they're working on this stuff. It takes a while to get resolved, so definitely be patient. It'll get fixed, and the game will be just as fun as it was before the patch, or it'll run just as well as it did before the patch, so be patient, folks. So there were also some new camos added, which is kind of cool. They're kind of specific to the continent, you know, the various continents in the game, so that you can actually kit yourself out for Amrish specifically, and, you know, things like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new things that they added. We'll just go ahead and search, make things a little bit easier. And as you can see here, there's some Amrish related camos that are all brand new. Amrish grassland weapon camo, Amrish leaf weapon camo, single use, of course, as we've had in the past, and a few other. Bloom armor decal as well, so it looks like there were some new decals added to the game. So that's some of the armor, the camo changes to the game. One of the other thing that's gone on is there's been a change to the hotspots. You can see here they're a little fancy looking, and of course the crown is a hotspot. Why? You know, it always is, so why wouldn't it be now? So they have much more visual representation on the map, well, as you can tell here, and they have more up-to-date metrics apparently. Instant action and hotspots are no longer synonymous. Instant action is meant to take you to a large fight where there's already a significant amount of allies. Hotspots are visual cues of where fights are, regardless of whether or not you have a significant amount of allies there or not. So they made quite a big change to the way that works. I have not had a chance to kind of mess around with it yet, so I'm not really sure if it's a good change or a bad change, so feedback in the comments is always welcome. One of the other changes that were made were on the outfit screen. I've only got 2 members of my outfit online right now, but you do have a little bit of a sortable thing in here now, where you didn't before. I still wish there was a last online so that you could sort by that. There's a lot of huge outfits that would benefit from that quite a bit. Mine not necessarily. We don't have a ton of members, so it's not like it's not a huge issue, but it would be a very nice thing to have. Some of the other things that have changed is the report window. Typing /report player name into chat will bring up an improved reporting UI to better help inform CS of hackers, griefers, and general nuisance. So I'm not going to report anybody, you know, even though it's very tempting. But suffice to say, there's an improved UI for that, which is good because it kind of blew before. You know, you just kind of went in there and type report. There was no real feedback about what was going on. So there was just a massive amount of UI updates. I'm literally not going to go through every single one. Because there are just so many. Lots of nameplate changes so that vehicles take on the same nameplate as the driver, which is an awesome thing. Apparently icons show up next to your squad members now as well. Don't actually have any squad members to show that. Delta squad platoon color has changed from yellow to black. Profile screen, leaderboard stat page, and tab scoreboard screen have been improved and polished to show BR icons and revised to de-emphasize kill death. Now that's a huge thing. A lot of people have not liked that kill death is kind of the main focus of the game. So as you can see here, let's see, score hour is there now instead of kill death is closer to the bottom. So kill death is still there, but score and score an hour is in here now, so that's nice to see. That's definitely a good change in my opinion anyway. I think kill death was way too emphasized before as well, and I know a lot of other people did too. And apparently the profile screen is kind of the same deal. You can see here there's some changes to this as well, although I can't see exactly what they are. This is one of those situations where having a before and after shot would be awesome, but I don't have one. I'm sure I do in one of my other videos, so be sure to take a look on the channel. Let's see, updates to character vehicle loadout screens. An attachment button should always be visible on the equipment page of the selected weapon. So let's go ahead and take a look at that actually. So there's some changes to the vehicle loadouts, changes to the, actually it is vehicle loadouts, although I'm on the infantry loadout screen right now. You can actually see what the camo is that you have equipped, so that's a pretty cool change. We'll go ahead and jump in here, and let's see. You've got, they move things around a little bit in here, as you can see. I'm kind of seeing this at the same time as you guys. I don't remember seeing this compare button here before either, so that's kind of an interesting new change. So that's the changes to the loadout screen, as we all learn together at the same time while I record a YouTube video. So thanks for being patient with me as I learn a new method of doing these videos. All right, so let's take a look here at a few other things. We've got client performance improvements, which if you've been paying attention on the forums and on Twitter the past day or so, it doesn't appear the client performance and stability improvements have worked quite as planned. I know that the dev team is working very furiously on getting that stuff resolved, so I'm sure they will get it worked out. It's kind of the nature of the beast. You release a massive patch like this with so many changes, there's bound to be issues for sure. So thank you to the team for continuing to work through all those problems, and I know we're going to get them fixed. It shouldn't be too long now. There's actually already been a hot fix in place as well. So there's been a couple changes to spotting. Repeated spotting without a valid target will put your ability on cooldown, which is an interesting change that I would agree with. And spotting an enemy at 30+ meters now has to be more precise, so that's cool. You have to be more focused on the enemy to actually spot them, and you have to be closer to the center of the target to see their nameplate. So there were a variety of existing weapon tuning changes. I am literally not going to go through every one of these. Check on the link. We're going to have a annotation that's going to be linked directly to the patch notes on our PlanetSide 2 wiki. So check that out if you want to check out all these specific details. Lots of accuracy changes. The number of bullets and a variety of weapons have changed. The Jackhammer has received a buff because apparently it was pretty bad before. I can't say I've used the Jackhammer too often, so I'm not sure about that one. But frag and sticky grenades, external explosion radius by 1 meter. I don't know what that means. Is it an increase or a decrease? They didn't specify in the actual patch notes. So miscellaneous changes. It looks like they added the invulnerability on newly spawned players, which I'm kind of surprised about. I didn't think that they were going to do that. It didn't look like it made it into the vote. One of the things that of actually doing the video this way is that you guys get to stare at a boring standing still screen while I go ahead and read through the patch notes off a piece of paper. It's like a scribe that I've unscrolled and I'm now reading from it all the patch notes. So I'm actually kind of surprised that made it in there. Let's see, the auto run to infantry defaults to the equals key. Yay, auto run for the win. That's definitely a nice new change. Can be remapped. So let's leave the auto run on. That will be more exciting for you guys to watch, right? Control F11 turns off first person arms and weapons. So that is an awesome change, and it doesn't work. So awesome. I'll have to mess around with that a little bit. So that will be a change that is for filmmakers, so that you can actually film stuff without the stuff on your screen, which is well deserved and much needed. We should see a lot more cool videos now that they've done that. You don't have to do a bunch of workarounds. And Control F10 turns off the UI, which actually did work for me. So I'm going to have to go take a look through my key bindings. We'll come back and we'll mess with that here. And there we go. It looks like it probably was working, and I was just failing to pay attention. So what's new? Ask Jenny Boo. I never pay attention, so she can concur with that one. Mouse movement optimizations have been made for vehicle turrets. So that's kind of cool to hear, because the vehicle turrets sometimes were a little finicky, in my opinion anyway. So that's another little tweak that they've made. All right, so let's talk about one of the other pretty huge changes, and that is the XP system has been completely restructured to a dynamic XP, so that killing a player who's been alive for less than 10 seconds will not earn you more than 5 XP. So basically this means that spawn camping is not viable in terms of experience anymore. It'll still be viable as a tactic because, spawn camping and suppressing the enemy in their base is always, it's always going to be a valid tactic no matter what anyone says, and there's pretty much no way to stop it. But at least you're not going to be as rewarded for this. So basically, if you've been alive for longer, you're going to be worth more, and if you've got more kills, I believe, it depends on how much experience the enemy that you kill has earned. You're going to get more XP for that. There are a variety of facility updates, so let's go ahead and make our way to a facility, and we'll take a look at that. Before I jump to that, actually, though, you'll notice that, as I turn back on all my good stuff, if you take a look here, you can see the warp gates have actually been rotated. The NC are up here in the north on Indar. The TR are back down on the bottom left because I'm failing at my compass directions, and the VS are back over here on the bottom right. And that's occurred on every map. Everybody has rotated their warp gates, so that's kind of a interesting and unexpected change. We saw that a lot in beta, but we haven't seen it yet in release. And AMR is just the same way. The TR are up here now, and the VS are at the bottom, and the NC are up at the top left. So That's an interesting change, and it's kind of good to see. It'll mix things up a little bit for those of us who have been playing a lot. So let's go ahead and jump over to some of the facilities and look at some of the changes that have occurred there. Alright, so we're making our way over to one of the amp stations over here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of the changes and see kind of what has occurred here. Now, we do know that tunnels have been added to places like the amp station, and spawn rooms have been tweaked as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that good stuff. So here is one of the new spawn rooms. As you can see here, there have been, whoa, as I crash live on YouTube. As you can see here, there's been a variety of changes to these spawn rooms. When you come inside, you have exits out the top now, which you didn't have before. So I guess that prevents camping a little bit more. There's, you know, a few more areas that you actually have to guard. So you can see here we've got the exits out the top of the spawn room, and we've got kind of a enclosed area up here that you can shoot out of. So this is kind of an interesting change, and I actually like it. You know, it'll make it so that there'll be some more interesting fights. Not so sure I like the turrets. I'm not really sure if that's needed or not, but hey. I guess it's a nice addition that's going to help you defend the spawn room. Again, maybe a little bit overkill in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. There's actually some balconies around the sides as well that you didn't have before, so that you can come up here and have some more, some easier places to shoot from and defend from. And of course, here's the turrets. So this is actually, as you can see, Paris Amp Station, and you can actually see some UI changes right there on the left. You can see that the icon for the base has actually changed now that we own it. So that's another tweak that's been made. There's always undocumented changes that a lot of people come across, and in fact, they made a variety of tank changes to the game, and they actually boosted the Prowler, and apparently the Mag Rider has experienced some issues in terms of strafing, and apparently stealthily had its ability to climb nerfed. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but that is one of the other changes that has occurred in this patch. There was a ton of battle tank changes. Again, click the annotation so that you can take a look at the full notes. As we continue along here, you can see now we have a tunnel. The tunnel takes you over to the main base, and it's got kind of like a it's got a jump pad facing in the opposite direction, or you know, horizontally instead of vertically. You jump on this bad boy, it'll take you over to the other side, and now we are at the amp station itself. As you can see, there's a couple more tunnels here that will take you over to the edge, and these will take you into the tower, as you can see. And so here's the exit. Takes you up right here. As you can see, no way to get in if you're the enemy, or actually if you're the friendly for that matter. You can't go back inside. So we're going to go ahead and make our way back over to the main base here, and we'll take a look at the exits in the actual main building. I believe in this case they come out near the spawn generator, so we're going to go ahead and make our way over there. As I discussed, there are a large variety of battle tank changes. You're going to definitely want to check out the Prowler now if you're a TR. If you're not TR, then you fail. But if you are TR, you're going to have to check out the Prowler. It's been quite boosted. So here we are in the main spawn generator room, and as you can see, this is actually an exit from the tunnel as well, so that you come right in here and be able to defend the spawn generator a little bit easier. Haven't had a chance to play a whole lot with these changes yet, so I'm curious as to how they'll affect things, and I know the dev team are watching pretty closely as well. And as you can see here, we've got another change, a good change. They've actually elevated the vehicle pads so that people are less likely to run across and be owned by vehicles randomly. So that is another tweak that was made. So that is one of the changes to the amp station. Alright, gonna make my way over to Regent Rock Garrison, because they actually made some changes to towers as well. As you can see, the spawn room changes that they made, as I get shot at by some asshat. As you can see, the spawn room changes have actually been deployed kind of across the board. Here we are at Paris still, and you can see the new style spawn room is over here as well at one of the satellites. So, gonna make our way over to Regent Rock. Apparently there were a variety of changes made to decrease spawn camping, so we're going to take a look at those. All right, so here we are over at Regent Rock Garrison. I'm going to go ahead and take a little spin to the top. So here's some of the changes. As you can see, you can no longer come in here unless you're a friendly. So that is one of the changes that was made. Some other tweaks. As you can see, there's kind of a little bit of a roof or an overhang or an eave over the top of these rooms up here, or these doors up here, and they've actually fortified a lot of the you know, the upper levels so that you can actually shoot and have cover in quite a few more places. And you can see here they have an illustration to show that this actually does something. So that's kind of cool. So let's make our way back down to the second level. And as you can see, some more covers in front of the doors so that you can actually have a few more places to hide. So here we are in the spawn room area, and as you can see, there's quite a few changes here. The spawn room doors are actually completely covered because, you know, in the past everybody would stand back here and, you know, be shooting at these doors and killing people as they came out, shooting their grenades at them, like so, and a variety of other things. So there's quite a bit more cover on the tower itself, so it looks like this should lead to some pretty interesting fights here. One thing I didn't mention about the amp station is that they've changed the jump pads so they only work for defenders, and there's some controversy about that already in the forums, so check out PlanetSide Universe to kind of talk about that a little bit. So those are the changes to the tower. I would assume these changes have gone in across all towers. You know, I don't have a chance really to go around and look at them all, but we would assume that the change was made on all of them. So we're going to make our way over to Havar Tech Plant because the tunnels were added there as well. Havar Tech Plant is holds a very special place in my heart. It's actually the very first tech plant that I fought at in the game. So a member of my outfit is wondering if I can play, and I'm actually, you know, I'm doing fancy stuff right now. I'm recording a video, yo. Alright, so here we are at Havar Tech Plant. And you can see the redesigned spawn room is here as well. Of course it is. Why would it not be here? So we're going to go ahead and jump inside and have a look around. As I lose another mosquito to a despawn timer, I'm sure. Alright, here we are at the Havar Tech Plant spawn room. Very similar spawn room changes as you can see. And the tunnels were added here as well. And an exit out the back that wasn't here before. So quite a few changes. So let's go ahead and jump down and see where this particular tunnel heads to. Now there's been some controversy about these tunnels as well. People are like, well, that's not really what we wanted when we were asking for tunnels. You know, why can't we run through them? Well, in my opinion, that would be pretty boring to run through. So, you know, I kind of like what they did here. It's a start, and you know, I'm curious to see where else they go with it. Sorry, I'm continuing to look at this to kind of figure out exactly how it works and where it goes. And here we go again. And this is taking us, I believe, into the main spawn room area, to the main base area. So they're actually kind of a little bit confusing at first. Where exactly do these go? So this exit here comes out in the back of the base, it looks like. In the back of the tech plant. And as you can see, you know, it's friendlies only can come out of there, and actually friendlies can't go back in once they come out. So looks like there were some more fortifications added in around this area as well. So yep, a lot more places to take cover. So this should be interesting. I don't think it's going to answer the, you know, the defensibility issues that many players have with bases. I think that there's still a long way to go, but it's a start, and I'm pretty happy with what they've done. It's nice that they're actually listening to the community and some of the things that they're looking for. You know, they may not be exactly what the community is looking for, but hey, I mean, you know, you can't do everything at once, right, guys? I mean, you can't do and create exactly what the community wants. It just doesn't work that way. So they've got to take baby steps and kind of play around with this stuff. And the fact that they actually have tunnels in the game now is actually a pretty big deal, because they weren't able to put stuff underground in the past. When we were in beta, that wasn't even a possibility. So that tech has just recently gone into the engine that allows them to be able to do that. So it's a great to see them starting to take advantage of it. And I think it's only the beginning. I think we're probably going to see a lot more stuff like that. So, you know, baby steps, guys. Let's not rage about how, oh my god, this tunnel isn't exactly what I wanted, because, you know, it's going to turn into more of what you want. There's going to be a lot more changes that are going to come into the game, and this is, you know, only the beginning. It's only game update 2 for PlanetSide 2, so. There were some Biolab changes as well, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. That'll be the last facility we take a look at and see kind of some of the changes that they did in there. They've apparently made some changes to make air pads more defensible, I guess. Not entirely sure the reason for that, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So you can see here, there's a whole lot less room to land an aircraft and a whole lot more places to hide. I suppose this is for the jump pads that come up. It allows people to be able to defend a little bit easier against those incursions. There's a lot more places to hide behind, and you know, they're more defensible. So let's go ahead and take a look at the spawn room in here. The Biolab was redesigned. The spawn room was redesigned as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we are. So here's the Biolab spawn room. It's pretty much, I don't think it's exactly the same as the one in the other buildings, but it's certainly, or in the other bases, I'm sorry, but it's certainly pretty close. It's going to make it a little bit easier to defend and make it a little bit less farmable. You've got very similar exits in here, and the exits out the top, as you can see up there as well. Alright, so I think that about finishes out the base changes, or at least, you know, a rough overview of the base changes. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple of the other things. There's some audio updates that were made. They've optimized some things so that the audio assets load a little bit better. The SMGs has unique audio for each faction. And apparently they changed a lot of other audio, and there's been some pretty good feedback on that in the forums. Alright everybody, so this has been Game Update 2 Patch Review. And I want to thank everybody for watching our video here. Please give me feedback on this, because I did a lot different than I typically record these. I typically record all the actual game video before, and then I narrate over it in post-editing. This time I actually recorded the audio while I was running around in the game. It may have been a little bit more boring, I'm not sure. But if you could just let me know in the feedback what you thought. We went on about 25 minutes. This is a huge patch, so it took quite a while to go through everything. And as I was recording it, I realized I should have done it in a different order, so I did do some posts to it, but not as much as I usually do. Anyway, this has been Hamma here for the Araxis Global Network and PlanetSide-Universe.com. Thank everybody for tuning in, and be sure to head over to PlanetSide Universe and discuss Game Update 2. Let us know your thoughts, and definitely let me know your thoughts in this video. You guys have a good one. We'll catch you next time.